Ink Ribbon.
I had to look up the definition of Requiem just to be sure what it is, and the definition states that Requiem refers to some sort of remembrance of those who have died or fallen or whatever. And this can be a song, it could be a mass, it could be a vigil, it could be just an act. I mean, it could be so many things, which makes me very, very curious as to what this is all about. Capcom released a video as part of their spotlight giving a lot more information about Resident Evil 9 Requiem. I don't know which title they're going with because they keep showing both logos. And they also released a bonus video on the Capcom portal, so I went and checked all of it, and here are my thoughts as a Resident Evil fan. This is where all my lore stored in here comes in handy. I'm really happy that they finally gave some more information because the rumors were just going crazy across the internet. But I don't make videos about rumors. I don't know if you guys are aware of that. I only do videos if Capcom has officially stated it, because in this day and age, people can just make up stuff and you don't know who's lying or who's telling the truth. Or most often the case is something was true at one point and then changed, which we're going to get into that in a second. They said something interesting in this. They said that the theme for the gameplay is addictive fear. And they were saying that the more you play it, the more you want to play it, which sounds very strange for a horror game. I don't understand how that goes, because usually you get through a horror game if you're genuinely scared and you're like, whew, I'm glad that's over. But I try to figure out from a game design standpoint what that could mean, and it sounds like there's going to be more replayability, but it's like, what is that? Is it going to be like, are there like roguelike elements? Is there going to be finally a randomizer? I don't know. It also makes me wonder if there's going to be like no more predictable jump scares, because when you play Resident Evil and by like the third time you know a zombie hand is going to burst through the wall or whatever, and it's not scary anymore. So we'll have to wait and see what that's all about. They also showed this like giant hallway monster that looks really scary. I tried turning up the brightness to see if we could get a better look at it, but it is just pitch black. You cannot get any information, so I tried, but it does look strange, and it kind of like Resident Evil Village and Marguerite or whatever her name was from 7. So I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Now, one of the big things that they mentioned is they confirmed it is an offline single player game, which I'm happy and disappointed. I would have been happy either way, but they did test online, and they actually showed a little bit of footage, which you can see here, and I don't think there's anything to really unpack here. It just looks like test footage, like, they're just making sure things were working and whatnot. And they, I guess, ultimately scrapped it in favor of a, true survival horror experience. And that's fine. I think online would have been fun, but this is probably better, especially if they're trying to bring Resident Evil back to its horror roots, because Resident Evil has kind of become an action franchise dressed as a horror game, It does also make me wonder if there's going to be any sort of online spin-off mode or other game or something that results from those tests. We'll have to wait and see. Just what made me happy about seeing all of this was that Capcom wasn't so focused on profits or DLC or any of that stuff. They were like, what game can we make that the Resident Evil fans will be happy about? And it really means a lot as a gamer when a game company that big is actually like worried about what we want, It's rare. It doesn't happen like that anymore. Ugh. So they also gave us more information about Grace, which I was very happy about. And when they explained it, I was like, okay, this makes a lot of sense. I might be oversimplifying it, but first of all, Grace solves the action problem that Resident Evil has become plagued with, because as they mention, they're like, we can't put Leon in a horror scenario because Leon is so experienced and he's been through so much that he's not going to, be jump scared. He's just not like a thing falls. He's not going to be like, huh. I mean, he's like drop kicking and doing flips and stuff, like, okay. So by bringing Grace in, here's my theory about Grace. She is a female Leon, but not current Leon, rookie Leon. Think about it. She's an FBI agent, and she seems a little unsure, so she's probably new. She is trained in firearms. They make that very clear, but she's not trained or experienced in the horrors of what we have come to see throughout the Resident Evil series, which is really cool because it makes her a capable fighter but also scared, and it was a really smart solution. Like, she has just enough training to use a gun, but not enough to be a boulder punching, butterfly kicking, jet ski flipping superhero like all the other Resident Evil characters. And apparently we're going to watch her grow and overcome her fears throughout the game, which I think is going to probably make her a very beloved character in the franchise, but I guess we'll have to wait for that too. I know I keep saying that, but we have to wait, you know? And one very interesting thing that I guess I never realized is it's the first time we've gotten a Resident Evil character that's like shy and introverted, because every other character is larger than life in Resident Evil. You know, they're also confident and sure of themselves. And I think as an introvert and a gamer myself, she's going to be a very relatable character, because it's like, what's scarier than social interaction with a stranger, right? Although this does raise the question with the whole theme of Requiem and Raccoon City and all the stuff that they've been bringing in, where are all the characters that we know and love? Like, how are they going to play a role? Who are they going to be? How many of them are there going to be? It's like, But what I predict is it's kind of going to be like Resident Evil Village or 7, where like, you know how in Village you're playing as Ethan and then you end up playing as Chris for his segment? I think they're going to do something like that. Maybe with Leon, I don't know. I think Leon would be the best character to bring into this, and they're probably going to bring him in because they mentioned him and nobody else. But the reason that I say that is because, like I said, I think Grace is sort of a facsimile of rookie Leon. You know, she's kind of mirroring that. And who better to mentor her or relate to her than someone who went through exactly what she's going through? When Leon was his first day as a cop, he didn't know what the hell was going on. He survived Raccoon City, and he learned quite a lot on his first day, his first and only day on the force. And now Grace is going to go through the same thing. And I hope that they do that, because that's such a good opportunity for like a really nice moment. You know, there's a lot of story elements that can really work well with that. And that's what I'm hoping for. But I don't know. And Jill seems to not have been mentioned any way, shape, or form. So I guess that was just a rumor, unfortunately. I also wonder, like, if they did bring back Leon, for example, if it would be like Village, where he has his own sort of action segment to sort of break up the gameplay and, you know, add something to it. Maybe it would be a back and forth, or maybe you just play as Grace through the whole thing. Though it would be kind of cool to just have that moment of like, all right, I'm Leon now. I can just like kick ass for a little while, and then you go back to being scared as Grace, and you're just like, okay, like here we are again. You know, just to get the heebie-jeebies out. Another interesting thing that I noticed is, like, they talk a lot about the hair in the game. Like, they, I guess... So, for those of you who don't know, in game development, hair for characters is one of the most difficult things to do. Like, in Final Fantasy VII Remake, there was a whole team just for hair. That's it. That's their only job, was just doing characters' hair. It's really, really complicated, so I guess I can understand. I thought we had hair figured out, but I guess there's more advancements being made. So they just went on and on about her hair, and I'm like, her hair, awesome, great. Although I will say, when I first saw her, she reminded me of Paz from Metal Gear Solid. I don't think that was intentional, but it was just like, But it kind of makes sense, because their whole thing was she's supposed to be like soft and delicate and cute, and you know, Paz was that kind of character as well. Although, for you Metal Gear Solid fans, listen to Paz's audio files in Peace Walker, and oh my god.
And better yet, they wait on me hand and foot, believing I am just a schoolgirl.
Like, the lore in there. I have to do a video at some point. But anyway, one thing I'm so happy about is they allow you to switch between first person and third person. And I think that was a great idea, and I'm glad they were able to implement that, because like, I didn't mind first person, but I don't play first person games. I much prefer, as Girlfriend Reviews puts it, look at the booty shooty. I like to see my character, especially from behind, as I'm running through these beautiful environments, killing scary monsters. I like to see my character on screen. That's just how I play. But I know some of you probably, like, if you come from a background where you play a lot of first-person games, maybe you prefer that. Maybe you like seeing things really up close. And I'm hoping you can do it on the fly, because it would be really nice if there's like environmental details you want to get a closer look at, and you can just switch to first person and take a really close look at it. Maybe that's just me as a content creator, because I have to look at every square inch of every Resident Evil game to find anything that I can make a video about. So for you personally, leave a comment and tell me, are you going to be playing it in first person or third person? Because I'm kind of curious how many of you agree with me that like third person is better. Just because I've always wanted, ever since Resident Evil 2 Remake came out and then they did Resident Evil 3 Remake, I was like, can we just have a new Resident Evil game that is in this style, where it's, you know, third person using that engine and gameplay style? Because I really liked it, and then they did 2 games and then that was it. It's like, no, we like this. Bring more, please. Now, with Raccoon City, I still don't have a lot of information, unfortunately. That's the thing that I am going crazy over, and I need to know more. But just from my observations from the new little bits of footage that they showed, I think that you will be able to go to Raccoon City, but I'm scared to say that. It's just, I don't want to be disappointed and it ends up just being a cutscene or part of like the storyline, or you don't actually get to go there. Because I would love to just take one last look at Raccoon City before we move on in this franchise, even though there's not much left of it. But I did notice that there are what seems to be clear paths leading to the RPD. Not to mention there's like inside the RPD and all that stuff. So I'm hoping that means that the player will be able to walk through that, because I don't think that they would make those paths unless you were going to go there, but I don't know. I just want to look at it one more time. I miss Raccoon City. That's my home. Now, speaking of Raccoon City, they also mentioned that the visual theme of the game is metal and noir. Still not 100% sure what noir is, but they mentioned that there's a lot of metal, a lot of urban environments, and they showed footage of what looked like a city environment, you know, like another outbreak had happened somewhere, and they're now going in the opposite direction of Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil Village. So while those took place in like rural areas in the middle of nowhere, this is like in an urban city, and we even got to see inside of a house or mansion. So it seems to be combining a lot of stuff from like the original trilogy. You know, you got your mansion, you got your city, and I don't know, I think that's going to be cool. I'm hoping we get like labs and sewers, because that's always just iconic in Resident Evil. But I'm happy about this, because there's 2 types of Resident Evil fans. You're either a Arklay Forest Spencer Mansion type of fan, or you're an RPD Raccoon City type of fan. I am Raccoon City. Some of you are not, but I much prefer the urban environment. So I'm really excited about that, and you know, I'm looking forward to it. But now that's pretty much it. Although I did notice that on the portal it says creator message number 1, so we may be getting more videos leading up to it. I've also heard rumors that a demo is right around the corner and we'll be able to try it for ourselves, because there's already some game journalists who have already played the demo and gotten to see it, and they said it wasn't very long, and most of what you see in the trailer is what they played through. So I'm really excited about that, and I hope that they release it, because there's a lot to unpack already just from the footage. So being able to walk around and get a feel for the game would be really, really nice. And the game comes out the day before my birthday, so that's going to be an amazing birthday present, as long as the scalpers don't ruin the collector's edition, because see how there's no Jill? Yeah. You scalpers. Anyway, but I will be staying on top of the footage and the releases and all that stuff. Again, no rumors. I'm only operating on official announcements. So I don't know anyone at Capcom. Okay, people keep saying that, like, and like messaging me and being like, "Can you tell Capcom to do this, or can you ask Capcom that?" I'm like, I can't. I would, but I can't. So what do you think of all this? Are you excited? Are you disappointed? Are you curious? So I don't know, because it's just my perspective, but I know the Resident Evil community is vast and expansive, and I am curious to hear what you guys have to say. So I'm going to end this video here and get to editing so that this is out in a timely manner. But in this heat wave, remember to drink water. And until next time, I'm Kai Morgan, and as always, thanks for watching Ink Ribbon.
Ribbon's a savior, check, she's got it. Ooh, Miss Redfield, you're something special. Ooh, Miss Redfield, with that pony over here. Ooh, Miss Redfield, you're made in heaven. Ooh, Miss Redfield, why can't you let me live? I said, oh, Miss Redfield.